Just another day for the Hell Brigade, another party for the Reaper. They say deny your eyes, well it's comply or die. All hail the glorious leader. The Banshee's cry was heard through the night for another precious martyr. How many need time for the changing tides to bring the ladies a mighty hammer? Oh, the battle's just begun. Oh, there's freedom to be won. And in the shadow of a would-be king, oh, resistance bells shall ring. The mask they wear can hide the murderous stare of the fascist armed invaders. It's not a means to end, it's just the evil intent of malignant white crusaders. But the rebellious sparks that spring from love-filled hearts won't be coerced into submission. With every passing day, oh, they set the stage for the coming revolution. Oh, the battle's just begun. Oh, there's freedom to be won. And in the shadow of a would-be king, oh, resistance bells shall ring. Oh, the battle's just begun. Oh, there's freedom to be won. And in the shadow of a would-be king, oh, resistance bells shall ring. Through the dark and stormy days, oh, the fight is not in vain.
Howdy, 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 folks. How we all doing? Hello, cute Dark Arts. Hello, Twitchytism. Hello, Azrael Garu. Hello, Dr. Hayes. Hello, Salty Turtle Cupcake. Hello, Clark Vibe. Hello, Anti-Material Girl. Hello, Zaron Joy. Hello, Dr. Hayes. You got two hellos out of me, you clever chatter. Hello, Vox Boxman. Hello, Agramuglia. Hello, the Vegan Rancor. Hello, Carver E. Payne. Hello, Damned Sputnik. Hello, Blueberry Bumblebees. Hello, Sage. Hello, Tim says. Hello, Comrade Girl 2018. Hello, Toady Dehaka. Hello, Latzia. Hello, K7 Thing. I'm gonna call you K7 Thing, even though it's K Thing, but you know what? I'm doing my best. Hello, Knight of Ticking Armor. Hello, Just to Be Here. Hello, Shattered Feathers. Hello, Gidera. Hello, YouTuber Grudge. Hello, Masked Songbird. Hello, you're getting off your butt to write your next song? Hell yeah. Hello, Wire Sponge. Hello, Exidor Knox. Hello, Tired and Trans. Hello, Zolta. Hello, Technogal. Hello, Brenta Council Speaker. Hello, Sue Fairwolf B. Hello. How we doing, Polaire? Hello, Aska. Hello, Snoogan. Hello, my name is Mud. Hello, Salmon Moose. Hello, Nine-Tailed Witch. Hello, Aska. You got two double hellos on this stream already. Hello, One-Eyed Atheist. Hello, Walking Neon Carpet. Hello, Faraxial. Hello, how we doing, folks? Hello, Gamer G. Hello, Sweet Blasphemy. Hello, how we doing? Joe Bertus Maximus. Hello, Small Frog. Hello, Kelsey on Fire. Somebody get some water for Kelsey. Hello, it's Britney, bitch. Hello, Celestial Heart. Hello, Red Rudy. I like the it's Britney, bitch. It's getting to me. Hello. Hello, Amber Brains. Hello, Joe Mama. It's late. It is late. I do apologize for the lateness of the hour, friends. I had to just take my time. I had to do, like, the life stuff today, like cleaning and like making sure food is in order and like snuggling my partner. I had to do the things that are necessary to live, and snuggles are necessary. Whew. And then I had to prep show. So, I was actually done doing all those things like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, and then I just prepped show. The weather has made it so driving is too dangerous for the day. Ugh, I'm sorry to hear that just to be here. That sucks. All right. Well, folks, shall we jump into it? How we doing? I work nonstop until I collapse. I did that for a long time and I can't do it anymore. And sometimes I miss that, and other times I wake up having slept 11 hours, which was today. I'm not gonna lie. I recommend getting enough sleep. Having gone over the past several days from 3 hours of sleep to 11 hours of sleep, 11
How
hours.
can you hire a butler to
10 out
boodle
of
all
10.
the things so you can smooch more?
Yo, Samantha Maydiv, thank you for the $50 dono for starting out the stream. My god, thank you so goddamn much. I really, really appreciate it. Whew, I've exercised today, folks. I slept enough. I ate food, like good food. I have like this great at-home ramen recipe that I made tonight. It's really, really been a lovely day. Also, goddamn, thank you for opening up the stream with a $50 dono. Because, you guys make this show possible. I couldn't do it without you fine folks. I genuinely could not. Yeah, I would be dying in the gutter. Let's see here. Okay. Well, shall we dive in? And by dive in, I have, as I have been too, neglectful to do of late, I like to typically find like a cool or interesting thing to share with you all at the beginning of stream, just because the world is a hellscape. But it's been like particularly a hellscape lately, so I haven't been able to do that. But I do want to share with you guys something that was posted by one of my favorite follows on social media, a man by the name of Frank Cafaldi, who, if you guys don't know him, he runs gamehistory.org, but also like does a lot of work just kind of archiving and preserving historical media, especially more of the disposable historical media out there. And yeah, anyway, here's the opening promotional test animation for Batman the Animated Series that people thought was lost with audio intact. So let's just check that out real quick.
Hello all. I
Yo!
wanted to say, I know things have been crazy. It
Sierra
can be
Reds.
hard to get out of bed in the morning. To keep moving. Take time to enjoy the simple things. And fight when you have the strength. We can cover you while you rest. We got you.
Hell yeah. That is such important messaging, Rent. Like, a lot of people keep pushing themselves until they break, but then you need a lot longer to rest up. But don't beat yourselves up when you need rest. So many of you do so much already. Alright. Here we go. Thank you for the $50 dono, by the way. Jesus. Hell yeah. God, the animation's so good. at that! Isn't that fun? God. It's so good. It's the that's the original test footage and audio for Batman the Animated Series. Isn't that fucking amazing?
Whoever donated $50 sucks. They should do better.
Samantha Medeb, thank you very much for the $55 dono. My god. Also, just I applaud just the one-upsmanship here. God, was that like the pilot or something? So Masked Songbird, this would have been like the test animation that they would have done to like pitch the show and like show like this is what it would look like. Or rather maybe like a step or two after the pitch was accepted as kind of like the proof of concept. This is a dangerous game to play with myself. Thank you so goddamn much. I really, really appreciate it. We don't have a dono goal right now, Banana Brains. We're in a period where I have a lot of things. Unless you guys want a dono goal, we can always add more things onto the top of the pile. Jesus Christ,
I can play
guys.
this game.
Salmon Moose?
How can we all have died at the same time?
Thank you for the $60 dono. Good God. Thank you so much, guys. Dono goal, we just watched Superman, the animated series. I don't think we can get away with doing that. And I also just don't want this to be like a channel where we do that. I want you guys to demand better from me than that. Can the dono goal be to not do any more Rudyard segments forever? No, sadly. However, let's see. I do have a couple things on the brain rot pile.
Okay,
Jesus.
so I gotta stop now.
Samantha Medeb, thank you very much for the $61 dono. Good God. Dono goal, we make our own Superman. Didn't you guys do that already? It was just the B movie. Isn't that what you guys did to me? Let's see. Poor as fuck, so can't do big. Still want to show support. K Thing said, thank you so much for the $2 pound. $2 pounds. God, my brain is cooked. Thank you so much, y'all. God damn, guys. Okay.
62 to celebrate that I'm leaving my shitty job. Woo.
Hell yeah, get you into a better situation. Let's go. And also, thank you so much for supporting the show, guys. I really fucking appreciate it. You guys are incredible. B-movie 2, it's hip to fuck bees. No, stop. Stop it. Oh god, can we... Okay, I have two candidates.
No! Despicable person!
No! I have two candidates for something to throw on the brain rot pile. That could be a dono goal. I don't know how compelling they are. But number one on this brain rot pile is this video going over this.
Yeah, I can't play that game, sorry, here is 2 subs.
Well, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. I really appreciate it, Cliff. And K-Thing, I appreciate any support y'all throw my way. It really, really makes a difference.
Funny number.
God, thank you. Salmon Moose, thank you for the $69 dono. Funny number indeed. Jesus. Thank you all so much. Holy shit. Holy mother of tabs. Would you believe me if I told you that this is after I closed, like, so many goddamn tabs? This is after I cleaned house. Okay, this video is apparently Michael Knowles set up a debate between himself and 2 libs, including one of whom is Luke Beasley, and the other one I'm not familiar with, Xena. I don't know them that well.
So, at work we've been
Content-wise.
using tourist as code for ICE when we talk around customers.
That's a
Most
good
of
idea.
them actually catch the joke. I learned that apparently DHS agents hate being called such, especially when used to mock how they can't take our weather.
Oh god, but it's so true though. It is so fucking true. They can't handle
concede.
it.
For now.
CR Rent, thank you for the $10 dono. Red Rudy, thank you for the $50 super chat. God damn, guys. I really appreciate it. But apparently they put together this thing in front of a live audience where they debate and drink beers and, like, I don't know, this is weird as shit. I gotta tell you guys, this is fucking nuts. This was uploaded like 2 months ago. I've been meaning to talk about it for a while and it just kind of got lost in the shuffle, but like this I think I need to watch this specifically to say don't do this. Like, I'm sorry, if a fascist approaches you and says, "Do you want to have a fun, relaxing debate in front of a live audience?" Don't say yes. Don't say yes. Don't do that. Don't give them, like, free publicity. Blah 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 blah. My mouth is all. Don't drink beer. You can drink beer. That's fine. But, like, don't give free, like, a free whitewash to a fascist. You know. At least make it an actual bar fight. Yeah. Now that'd be interesting. You know, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Luke Beasley's gonna, like, take a glass bottle and shatter it and then fight Michael Knowles, but something tells me that's not gonna happen. I don't think that's his bag. Oh, God, yeah. Don't join your local fascist in a beer hall push off event, if you will. Luke tried to do a series debating the dumb MAGA girl streamer who says girls are just dumb, you know? I don't know which one you're talking about, because that's a lot of MAGA girl streamers, so I don't know. Unfortunately, that doesn't narrow it down. But I think she was wanting to leave her cuck hubby for him. Why? He's like a child. I'm, like, not to be mean, but, like, this man's like barely stopped being a baby. I don't know, that's weird. And, like, I don't mean that in a mean way. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm just old now. And folks, here's just a pro tip. As you get older, like, people who were previously acceptable for you to date because they were roughly equivalent in age to you, they start looking like babies. You know? Like, I'm in my mid-30s now. When I see someone who's, like, 22, 25, somewhere in there, I'm like, They're babies. They're babies. Which, by the way, makes people like Leonardo
For all
DiCaprio
your
so much
awesome
creepier.
content. And for the brain rot. 3.
Technogal, thank you for the $6.70. You know, like the guys who are in like their 60s and go after like 20-year-olds, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it at all. Damn, you're mid-30s. You look great. Thank you. I'm 34 years old. Look, I know I'm not old, but comparatively for this space as a lady, I'm old. Does that make sense? You know? Like, as a content creator online, relatively, I'm old. You know? Same age? Hell yeah. It's a great age. I love being 34. It's great feeling like my life is somewhat together. You know? It's nice. Give us your skincare routine. I will when I can go and grab the products and bring them here, because I could not for the life of me tell you what they are off the top of my head. But I can tell you one, which is the most important one. Okay? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to know what the most goated like facial product you can get is? Are you guys ready? It is ba-ba-ba-ba. Come on, just give me a direct link to it, please. For the love of God, I don't need cook. I just want to look at the fucking bottle. Thank you. Here, God, oh man, modern websites. They've really made modern websites bad. All right, cool. Thanks, AI bullshit. All right. I need to make sure this is it. Do-do. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Nailed it. I had to go to 2 different websites that didn't have a bunch of different bullshit on it. This is the most goated facial skincare product of all time. Right here. Okay? It's very cheap, and also it's extremely good. There you go. It absorbs fast into your skin, and it also has hyaluronic acid, which helps to like clear your pores, all that stuff. This is great. This is the stuff you use every day. And genuinely, this by itself will get you like 80% there. Everything else is extra. I do, however, use a lot of moisturizing products, so like it's not the only thing I put on my face, but it is the most important component. All right. You and I both know that's not the most effective thing you're using. Well, yes, also HRT. Also trans your gender. There you go. Those 2 things. Trans your gender and Cetaphil daily hydrating lotion. Those 2 things. Okay, also, yes, if you're gonna go outside, use sunscreen. I don't care if it's cloudy, use the sunscreen. But I've got another life hack for you. If you are a full-time content creator and or someone who works from home, just stay inside all the time. And then the rays of the sun don't have to bounce off of any kind of sunscreen. They just bounce off of the outside of your house or apartment or what have you. So that's another life hack. Okay? Yeah. Be an indoor mouse. outside is bad. Yeah, it's full of radiation. It's true. Yes, and for people with actual, like, really difficult skin, that is more sensitive, you can go see a dermatologist and they will hook you up. All right. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Wait. Yeah, I'll figure this out later. All right. It's really dry, which is why the moisturizing must go into overdrive.
Play this anti-Hitler song, please.
Well, I can't really pass that up. Pirate Amir, thank you for the $5 dono.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Everyone did your exercise today. Fascists
When that
also,
man
exercise is
is
super
dead and gone. When that man is dead and gone. We'll go dancing down the street, kissing everyone we meet. When that man is dead and gone.
All right. I'm not going to play the full thing, though. Go check that out. Here's a link to it. There you go. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Also, Uncle Simric, thank you for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. And I did exercise today. And fun fact, I learned about the biggest news of the day while I was exercising. And I can tell you, ending your exercise routine to all you fascist bandaloos is a 10 out of 10 thing to do. All right. There you go, folks. Jack does have fantastic hair today. Not today. Only I need to take a shower really bad, guys. Gave my first dono. I appreciate it, Pirate Amir. And honestly, this song looks cool as shit. And I'm gonna subscribe to their channel, folks. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna tell you guys, go subscribe to this channel right now. They have less subscribers than I do. They have less than 7,000. Let's get them over that 7,000 mark, okay? Go subscribe to this channel. All right? Go give them a sub. Let's get them over 7K. It looks like we can. They have 6.99K subs. I think if just a handful of you go do it, we'll get them there. All right? Also, seem cool as fuck. Just subbed? Hell yeah. I'm gonna refresh and see if they get over 7K.
1, 2.
Yeah, there we go. We did it. We did it, everyone. We got them over 7K. Hell yeah. You know what? I'll skip ahead. We'll listen to the end. We'll listen to the end of the song. We're not going to listen to the full one, though, because I want you guys to go and listen to it over on their channel. Here we go. Also, what a great dress.
What way to wake up on? What way to greet the dawn?
When a certain man is dead and gone.
Hell yeah. That was fun. Okay. I'm gonna listen to that on repeat later. No, not Postmodern Jukebox. This was Lizzie and the Triggermen. Lizzie and the Triggermen. Uploaded 8 years ago. But still very much an active account. They just put out a thank you to everyone for listening to the song. So, cool stuff. All right. Okay, also, can we just... Look, just real quick, folks. We can all agree Donald Trump is dying, right? Like, he canceled, apparently, all of his public appearances tomorrow. Unexpectedly. And when asked if he was going to be attending the Super Bowl on February 8th, he came up with maybe the funniest possible excuse for him not to go to the Super Bowl. And I just... His excuse was, it's just too far away. That's a direct quote from him. It's just too far away. I don't think he's doing hot, folks. I don't think he's doing too hot. Really, his response was, it's just too far away. And also, it's very possible that, like, he just doesn't want to make a big public-facing event because he doesn't want to be embarrassed on the national stage. Like, it's both he's not doing so hot, but also he knows that right now people fucking hate his guts. Oh, he would get eviscerated by the crowd. People already hate this bitch. You know? He gets booed every time. I feel like it's gonna be way bigger this time if he shows his face. You know? I saw a clip of a video with him in it today, just how diminished he was in real time. I actually was watching clips of to prep just the show in general. I was watching clips of him at Davos, because remember, we focused on Mark Carney's speech from Davos. He does not look good. Like, when I'm not exaggerating. He looks like my grandpa when he was on the way out, like a couple weeks beforehand. Like, he does not look good. You know? I don't know. I just think it's fun to remember that he is made out of flesh and blood, and that flesh and blood seem to be failing him. Okay. Folks, to kind of set the tone for today, I wanted to play a video here put together by a friend of the channel, MinMax. For those of you who've been kind of looking for new games media to follow, MinMax here is based out of Minneapolis. It's wonderful. It's staffed by a bunch of people who used to work at Game Informer prior to the Great Purge. And I just wanted to play this video that they edited together because it's genuinely really great and really captures kind of what's been going on here in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities area. And I think it's really good. And if you guys want to get your game news from just some genuinely excellent people, who I entirely stamp and endorse, check out MinMax. I know that right now, especially, like, games media is getting, like, consolidated by these giant corporate behemoths and being hollowed out. But I wanted to watch this with you because, again, this is just kind of further evidence that these people are just some of the best eggs. So let's take a look.
They're all forgetting about the Constitution of the United States of America. Freedom is not arresting people without warrants. We have a system here. It's called a constitution. Minnesota, we'll take care of ourselves. We don't need federal troops coming in here without warrants.
Historically, ICE or any federal agent, they can't enter one's home without a judicial warrant signed by a neutral and detached magistrate. That's what's required under the Fourth Amendment.
Can you put the guns down? There's kids in this house. You do have to show a warrant. You guys see this all on live. He said he doesn't have to show a warrant.
I'm a veteran. I swore an oath back in 1969 to protect this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This is unbelievable.
I will tell you this, brother.
What?
You know, I will tell you this. You raise your voice, I raise your voice.
If I raise my voice, you'll erase my...
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Are you serious? You said if I raise my voice, you'll erase my voice?
Yes.
What the fuck is going on, dude? This is insane. Yo, you know what really pisses me off? Is the fact that they detain people, cuff them, and then still beat the shit out of them.
Stop kneeing him in the face! That's his face! Stop it!
A lot of restraint and professionalism, as you can see on display. What we do is legal, ethical, and moral. Everything we do every day is legal, ethical, moral, well-grounded in law.
It's like Call of Duty.
Take the shot. If they kick it, you take the shot.
What I see out there is a very professional, prudent, and thoughtful law enforcement action.
What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? You're just trying to fucking kill him!
Law enforcement officers are here to bring peace and to bring public safety.
The officers that we have out there are very highly trained and skilled, specific for the operations that they're doing. They're utilizing the most gifted individuals on these operations.
And they have handled this with grace.
Then I can also see the point of view of the people that say, yeah, but you don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers? Is that what we've come to?
They tell you it's immigrants, only immigrants. It's fucking anybody.
There were 4 tribal members who were picked up by ICE in a community called Little Earth right here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And one of them has been released, but they couldn't locate the other 3. There's nobody more American than American Indians.
You can't just detain somebody because they look like they are Somali or they look like they are Latino. To be very clear for the whole country, that is what is happening right now.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork?
Because of your accent.
You have an accent too.
Where were you born, sir?
Where were you born at?
Put your hands behind your back.
And they drove me all the way to Minneapolis, out of where, middle of nowhere. My son grabbed my ID, showing to them, and they didn't say anything. They didn't say sorry or anything. They just, okay, you're good.
Why would I not be a citizen of this country, man? I'm working, dude.
You were from this country.
What do you mean? What do you mean if I'm from this country?
I can hear you don't have the same accent as me. That's why I'm
Oh, so you're going by accents now?
But this is not a group that's going around and looking for people who violated the law based on skin color.
All right, can we see an ID, please?
I am U.S. citizen. I don't need to carry around an ID in my home.
Well,
This is my home.
Where were you born?
This is my home.
Where were you born?
Minneapolis is my home.
I'm a United States citizen!
Do that. Look, they're grabbing him. Look, they're grabbing him.
It was last Thursday. 2 Target employees were arrested,
I'm not a U.S. citizen!
allegedly injured by ICE agents on the job. A Richfield lawmaker says they were citizens and released.
This guy right here, they let him out of the vehicle, they tortured him.
You okay, man? No, I'm not okay. Bro,
Yeah, that kid's a child, man.
my man's bleeding. Bleeding. They slammed me on the ground.
They beat a fucking child.
We gotta be able to call somebody. This is ridiculous.
If it is happening to our officers, it pains me to think of how many of our community members are falling victim to this every day. It has to stop.
Where are the don't tread on me guys when the federal government is overstepping state control?
To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony.
The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. No, I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said that officers who engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd.
Live images from the Target Center in downtown Minneapolis, where anti-ICE protesters are gathered after marching through the brutal cold.
You had agitators and violent American citizens out in the streets of Minneapolis protesting. Protesting what exactly?
We've just learned the woman who was killed was 37-year-old Renee Good.
Fucking bitch. Is that Agent Ross's voice calling Renee Good a fucking bitch?
I can't determine which one it is, but it could be, sir.
Hats off to that ICE agent.
It was an act of domestic terrorism.
Yeah, go exactly. Let people go to church.
You did not learn from what just happened?
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
We're videotaping you? Are you crazy?
The man a Border Patrol agent shot and killed was a 37-year-old ICU nurse who worked at the VA.
And we believe he is a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry.
This individual who came with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism. That's the facts.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law.
We do not have evidence that he was waving a gun, doing anything to threaten Border Patrol.
The victim are the Border Patrol agents. The suspect put himself in that situation. The victims are the Border Patrol agents there.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know.
This is nothing new. Read history. You learn from history.
So my first ask of you today is to share this video around. My first ask is for you guys to share this video, all right? Share it on your social media channels, your pages, etc. Go share it around. All right? It is excellent at pointing out the lies of the administration. Canadians love Trump. Man, get the fuck out of here. Go back to shoving like a Trump-shaped dildo up your ass, man. Like, it's pathetic. You guys are genuinely like Bootlicker really doesn't do you guys enough credit. Like how much you enjoy the taste of like conservative like boot polish. It's crazy. I'm Canadian, we fucking hate Trump. That's because you're sane. Needed the link to drag over a few holdouts. It is an incredibly, like, honestly, Ben Hansen over at MinMax has always been just incredible at editing. I don't know if he still handles their editing over there, but genuinely, just incredible editing work on pulling together so many disparate pieces of footage to make so many clear and concise points. It's really, really well done. And I would love for you guys to share friend of the show's, like, really... I think it's also, like, a great video that can act as a persuasive tool for folks who might not otherwise respond to arguments. Does that make sense? So, like, I think that oftentimes you can't really debate a conservative loved one or a conservative family member or what conservative colleague, whatever, into agreeing with you. You can't debate them out of like fascistic ideas. But I think you can point out the dissonance in those ideas. When you point out the dissonance, when you point out that those constant contradictions that happen from these fascist fucks, I think that resonates in a very different way and can pierce through that kind of cult mentality, right? And so having something like this that puts together the clips of what they actually said with what is actually happening, and like the clips of what they said with the clips that they said later where they're contradicting themselves, I think that is extremely useful. Yeah, like when JD Vance says, like, "Oh, we're giving all these federal agents absolute immunity," and Miller backs him up, absolute immunity, and then he goes, "I don't think anyone gave them absolute immunity." Like, I think that's the kind of shit that really hits, you know. And look, I'm not going to say that this should be the main thrust of anyone's activism, but I think that this video in particular is a great example of, you know, point out the contradictions. So, that is your marching order so far. Here you go. Gonna link it one more time before we move on. Excellent stuff. Well done, MinMax. Also, folks, just go subscribe to MinMax. They're a wonderful channel. They've had a great discussion a couple weeks ago about how, you know, it feels to live under ICE occupation. But they also do Game of the Year discussions and like have wonderful like shows and like deep dives into different video games. Like, it's genuinely a great show that is also 100% like community supported. Like they survive based on people subscribing to their Patreon. It's just a wonderful show, and y'all should really get into it, because honestly, like, if I had more time, I'd be watching a lot more of this stuff. Like, I think they're wonderful folks with really interesting ideas about video games. So check it out. You know, you can in fact do better than like Asmongold. you don't have to go watch The Devil Incarnate like talking about video games. Whew. OMG, I saw King of All Cosmos in their YouTube channel banner. Instant sub? Hell yeah. God. Anyway, if any of you do go over there, tell them Riverboat Jack sent you. All right. You know, I think I will save this piece for a new day. We'll push that out. Just jump right into it today. Got to refresh a bunch of tabs. Cool. Done. All right, guys. Y'all ready to jump into the news of the day? It's going to be a big segment, but I think it's going to be important. All right? Oof. All right. Before that, we've actually been going for about an hour, so remember, folks, hit that follow button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Click the buttons that help the show grow. Check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Tested on cis men, cis women, non-binary folks, etc. Go check it out. Link down in the description. And click the goddamn button. Go, go, go. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click 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 button. Click click button. All right. Let's dive into it, shall we? Whew. Go. Cool. Let's dive into it. Why stop the song now? Because it's a short song. All right. Here we go. So, folks, we have to talk about the fact that we're going to beat these fascists. It is going to be hard. It is going to be a long battle with these absolute clowns, but we're going to beat them. And I know that there's been a lot of people like going, whoa, what if he cancels the midterms? He can't. Well, rather, the only way he can is if we let him do that. Is if we just say, oh, well, you know, the ICE agents are already here and they're already rounding people up. There's nothing we could possibly do. But now, having lived in Minneapolis and having seen what people can do in order to oppose fascism, I think the only way you get an outcome like that is if everyone in your community rolls over and says, okay, just let him get canceled. And the only way that that is going to happen is if we all just give up. And I don't know about you guys, I'm not giving up. Minneapolis hasn't given up, and I don't think any of you guys are going to give up either. All right? And I just want to say that fight is exactly what is going to see us through this. You know, our institutions, sadly, are not staffed with people, by and large, of strong moral character who are willing to go out on a limb and do the right thing. They need us out here to fight. They need us out here to organize. They need us out here to give them the permission structure in order to act. And I say all of this right before telling you that just the other day, Donald Trump and Pam Bondi issued an ultimatum to the state of Minnesota. And Pam Bondi was nice enough to write that down in a letter sent to the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. And Donald Trump was nice enough to write it all down in a Truth Social post. And I'll read you guys the Truth Social post now. That is why I am hereby calling on Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and every Democrat governor and mayor in the United States of America to formally cooperate with the Trump administration to enforce our nation's laws rather than resist and stoke the flames of division, chaos, and violence. 1. Governor Walz and Mayor Frey should turn over all criminal illegal aliens that are currently incarcerated in their state prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with all illegal criminals with an active warrant or known criminal history for immediate deportation. 2. State and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens arrested by local police. 3. Local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes. 4. Democrat politicians must partner with the federal government to protect American citizens in the rapid removal of all criminal illegal aliens in our country. Some Democrats in places like Memphis, Tennessee, or Washington, D.C. have done so, resulting in safer streets for all. I'm going to pause here to note that the city of Memphis put out a statement shortly after this saying, nuh-uh, we have not, in fact, complied in the way you are trying to describe. In addition, I'm hereby calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation to end sanctuary cities, which is the root cause of all of these problems. American cities should be safe sanctuaries for law-abiding American citizens only, not illegal aliens. Not illegal alien criminals who broke our nation's laws. All of these requests are rooted in common sense and will provide the best possible circumstances to make America great again. The Trump administration is standing by and waiting for any Democrat to do the right thing and work with us on these important matters of making America safe, like it is in all sections of our country where we are, together with local leadership, participating and involved. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Now, it is worth noting that Pam Bondi's letter included one additional demand, which is that she said that she would remove all ICE operations and end Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota if the state of Minnesota turned over its voter rolls. To which, the Secretary of State of Minnesota said no. So, that, in turn, has led to a massive conflict in the courts. Essentially, the state of Minnesota and the city of Minneapolis are arguing in court against Kristi Noem and DHS that effectively all of this has been done. All of this violence, all of this, terror that has been visited upon the people of Minnesota has been done in the service of securing the voter rolls of Minnesota. It has been done specifically to instill terror and to enact political change. And that case is going on before Judge Menendez, who had her TRO against ICE overturned in the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals just a handful of days ago. But what is happening here is extortion. It is, and the judge asked this question in the hearing today, is the Trump administration trying to achieve through force what it cannot achieve through the courts? And I think that is exactly what is happening here. The Trump administration is trying to strong-arm the state of Minnesota to instill such pain and suffering and terror that we will just simply give up. Our good nature will just demand that we kowtow to whatever they want. And it is worth noting, and thank you to Chris Geidner for having finger on the pulse here. Folks should go follow Law Dork. Excellent publication. Judge Menendez orders more briefing from DOJ on plaintiffs' argument that the purpose of Operation Metro Surge is to punish the plaintiffs for their sanctuary policies, coerce policy changes, compel information sharing. Briefing is due by 6 p.m. CT Wednesday, meaning no order expected before then. So basically, the Judge Menendez is in a bit of a pickle here, which is that the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals seems to be extremely biased towards the Trump administration. And what she's trying to do is to collect more information before she issues a ruling in order to try and make it as rock solid a ruling as possible so that on appeal it isn't overturned. That is kind of seems to be from, listening to the court case and reading through the different takes I've seen today. That seems to be what she's going for. She is going for an ironclad ruling. And, you know, don't know don't know how successful that will be vis-a-vis the Eighth Circuit, but it is worth noting that basically the Trump administration has goofed up quite a bit. Having a written paper trail that indicates that they have visited, armed men to occupy a city and state that has resulted now in the killing of multiple people, the brutal execution of multiple people, and the, harm, physical and mental, of, hundreds of thousands more. This is some big this is some big dynamite they're playing with, uh, to say the least. So I'm interested to see where this is going to go. But the big date and time to know here is that on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, the DOJ has been ordered by the judge to present essentially arguments for why they think that it is legally justifiable to try and extort the state of Minnesota. That to put a bow on it, that's what the judge ordered the DOJ to do here. And I find that to be extraordinarily singular. I don't know of any kind of court assessment that even compares. So that's a huge thing to note in all of this. And in the meantime, the people of Minnesota hold strong, and the people of Minnesota will continue to turn out, and the people of Minnesota will continue to organize. In fact, here is a brass band that assembled to pay homage to Alex Preddy. Worth noting that this particular brass band was formed in the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, specifically to go out and joyously protest, give people, kind of they're your resident protest bards. They're out there to bind people together in solidarity using music, and it's honestly such a beautiful sentiment that they put into action, and it is quite it's quite wonderful. It's quite wonderful. Have you libs ever heard of Disturbing the Peace? Hey, you know what disturbs the peace quite a bit more than a brass band? Executing someone in the fucking street in broad daylight. Shut the fuck up. I wonder, like, for these folks, they're like, well, a brass band in the neighborhood? Ha! Disturbing the peace. And it's like, bitch, if someone was shot to death outside your home by police for no reason, I think you would find the murder more disturbing to your peace than a brass band walking down the street. Shut the fuck up. God. Also, Blue Magician. Minnesota does release inmates to immigration authorities if they're undocumented. So, maybe learn what the fuck you're talking about and shut the fuck up until you do. Incredible ignorance on display from conservatives in the chat. This explains the role of the Bard very well, indeed. Now, I do want to say also that the major miscalculation here that conservatives have made, and have always made, is that essentially they cannot conceive. They cannot conceive of the idea that people in Minnesota care about their neighbors. They care about people. We actually give a shit about our neighbors here. Okay? Could I have a link to that brass band video? Absolutely. Here you go. God, I love that song. Also, great follow for stuff happening on the ground. Taylor Dahlin, who grabbed this video. Y'all should check out their work. Excellent stuff on the ground. Okay? Now, conservatives have never been able to wrap their head around the idea of helping their neighbors. They've never been able to, like, figure out the basic tenets that Mr. Rogers imparted on children for, like, 30 years. They haven't been able to figure it out. They haven't been able to internalize that golden rule of love your neighbor. It's crazy how many people professing the love of Christ in conservative circles cannot understand the idea of loving their neighbors. And as just like emblematic of this idea, this has been going around in some conservative circles. As a former Special Forces warrant officer with multiple rotations running counterinsurgency ops, both hunting insurgents and trying to separate them from sympathetic populations, I've seen organized resistance up close, from Anbar to Hellmand. The pattern is familiar. Spotters, cutouts, dead drops, or modern equivalents. Disciplined comms, role specialization, and a willingness to absorb casualties while bleeding the stronger force slowly. What's unfolding in Minneapolis right now isn't protest. It's low-level insurgency infrastructure built by people who've clearly studied the playbook. It's like, no. No, what you're seeing here is people who give a damn about each other. Like, they can't wrap their head around the idea that the people on my block care about one another. They cannot wrap their head around the idea that people who feel safer going outside are going to grab food for people who don't feel safe enough unless they're inside. You know? They can't wrap their head around it. To them, it's like, well, clearly this is a heavily organized insurgency operation. They're basically domestic terrorists who have holed up inside the tunnel system of Minnesota. They can't understand it. To such a degree that, like, their recent big MAGA op was getting someone inside of one of the Signal chats in order to talk about how, like, people are organizing to deliver food and to help each other, like, pay for expenses, and, like, they can't figure it out. They have someone in Yes, we do have a rudimentary tunnel system in Minnesota, but that's, for cold. They just can't understand. They just can't get it. And it's so riddled their entire belief system that the FBI is now investigating the Minnesota signal chats because they think there might be domestic terrorist activity on there. And I guess, like, if you redefine domestic terrorists to mean people who give a shit about their neighbors, helping to deliver food and helping to, like, get people to medical appointments and helping to get like children who are going through, like, their first, like, menstrual period, a tampon or a pad, like, I guess, yeah, that is what's happening. Congrats. You're getting the vast criminal network that's making sure a 12-year-old going through her first period has a menstrual pad. Congrats. You really got them. You really spent hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars so smartly there. What is ultimately going to happen, by the way, as a result of these investigations, is that we are going to have and assuming they do a good job documenting all of this, we're going to have an extensive understanding of the beautiful way Minnesotans came together to support one another when these ICE cowards came knocking and came to occupy our city. We are going to have a beautiful record of all of the self-sacrificing, like, incredible acts of everyday kindness that Minnesotans have extended to one another. All right? Like, in the face of violent extremists from the federal government, Minnesota has displayed an incredible amount of humanity. And we are going to beat them. It's important to keep reiterating that they cannot even possibly begin to fathom us while we perfectly understand them. They are here to harm us. They are here to kill the helpers. They are here to kill people who offered them no rancor in order to try and extort the state, in order to try and rig our elections, to steal our democracy from us. They came here first to steal our dignity, then to steal our lives, and finally to steal our democracy. And you know what? We're not going to give them a damn thing. And so, I just want to say, we're going to fucking win. Never let go of that idea, because they want, more than anything, to take that idea away from you. They want to take that idea away from you. And I want to say, this is what they thought would be popular. This is what they thought was going to resonate with the American people. Here's J.D. Vance.
I've never seen any protests like this. We've just had charges announced on Armstrong, Allen, and Will Kelly. What do you make of this whole situation?
Well, first of all, if you interrupt a church service, you ought to get arrested, you ought to go to prison. And I think we wanted to send a very clear signal at the Department of Justice that you cannot interrupt people's rightful worship without expecting there to be any consequences. In the same token, you can't assault a law enforcement officer without expecting to get arrested either. So the Department of Justice, I think, has been on the case here in Minneapolis, where we actually, this really started as an anti-fraud operation. I think a lot of folks in the Democratic Party decided they didn't want to talk about fraud from Somalians. They wanted to talk about the brutality of immigration enforcement, as they call it. And so,
well, why can't you talk about the things we want you to talk about? Oh, why, look, we want you to talk about all this non-existent fraud from Somali folks, but instead you're talking about how ICE officers are brutalizing people for no reason everywhere. Well, geez, why couldn't you just do the propaganda we wanted you to do, guys? What a pathetic man-child.
What you've seen a lot is this sort of viral effort to try to inflate what's actually going on, to overstate the wrongs that have been committed and understate the very serious problems that we have with immigration enforcement in this country.
To overstate the wrongs. Federal officers are walking around breaking people's windows, trying to pull them out of cars. In some cases, pulling them out of cars while they're still in drive, so the car then rolls away down the street. But no, people are overblowing what's happening here as they kidnap fucking children out of their own neighborhoods. Yeah, nah, dog. Fuck you. They thought this would be popular. He's going on Newsmax to try and defend this, and he still looks full of shit. Despite their best efforts, even Newsmax can't make him look good.
For a long time, and they're just trying to distract. They think that if they can turn ICE into this evil monster, it will distract from the fraud and it will distract from the Biden open border. And we're just
Bitch, they executed a man in broad daylight and talked about how it was just like Call of Duty. Like fuck you. They're monsters. There's no saving it.
just not going to let it. We're not going to let that happen.
Yeah,
We're not going to let them paint ICE as evil monsters. Anyway, let's go back to making sure their human suits can fit over their grotesque true forms. God. Anyway, this is like, just let's just say, hey, JD Vance is so right here. Maybe ICE aren't monsters. Maybe it's just the media making them look bad. Anyway, I want to direct you guys to what ICE is doing out in Colorado. Racist Ace of Spades cards left behind following ICE arrests in Eagle County, Colorado. ICE said it began an investigation into the allegations and that it unequivocally condemns any such actions. Wow, it's crazy. ICE will investigate playing cards being left behind at the scene of crimes, but not, its own murders. That's wild. Now, for those of you who are unaware of this, Ace of Spades cards, which have been used by white supremacist groups as a racist symbol and were called death cards by some during the Vietnam War, were found in at least 2 vehicles after those vehicles were pulled over by ICE agents, according to Voces Unidas, a nonprofit based in Glenwood Springs. 9 people were taken into ICE custody during the targeted action Wednesday, including 8 people taken from 4 traffic stops, and 1 person who was walking to a bus stop in Avon, said Alex Sanchez, president and CEO of Voces Unidas. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security said via email Friday that ICE is investigating the situation. I'm sure they'll be very fair about this. Once notified, ICE supervisors acted quickly to address the issue. Bitch, they aren't going to even fire someone for doing an execution in broad daylight. They're not going to fire anyone for leaving behind playing cards. They left, by the way, it's not like, oh, well, maybe it could be misinterpreted. They left a fucking ICE Denver field office Ace of Spades in each of the cards. Like, this isn't a fucking accident. God, what city was that brass band in earlier? Minneapolis. So, like, they're, ICE is just evil monsters. Like, no, I gotta be honest. I'm usually hesitant to paint any group as just like just all of them are bad. All of ICE is bad. There's no ICE officer who's like just a good family man trying to do the right thing. Like you cannot even begin to envision that. Like, if you can envision that, like, well, maybe one guy is good, he's completely and utterly surrounded by every vile Nazi piece of shit like you've ever heard of. And he still continues to be part of it. Like, no, like, these people are vile. It cannot be reformed. All of them should be put on trial. Like, I'm sorry. The basic assumption here should be that every fucking ICE agent is irredeemable, and they should be trying their hardest to hide any association they've ever had with ICE, because after this is all done, after this is all said and done, like, anyone even remotely affiliated with ICE is going to be like poison to whatever company they work at, poison to whatever friend group they work at. People are not going to be okay with this. It's like hiring a Sieg Heiling fucking Nazi. Just truly, truly awful. Man, also, just pro tip, if you're gonna be like posting pro ICE shit, probably shouldn't use your actual given name. Just as a heads up in chat. Probably not the smartest thing to ever do.
Joke's on them. I gave up decades ago. Also, this dropped.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll be taking a look at that soon. Thank you very much for the heads up, Sake Tanuki. We'll check that out immediately after we finish this segment. So, I wanted to just reiterate, they thought this would be popular. They thought ICE was going to be popular. I know that that seems insane right now. It seems absolutely and utterly insane that they thought ICE would be popular, but you have to get into the mindset of a white supremacist. They thought a paramilitary force going around the country, like, scooping up black and brown people and, like, getting them out of the country, they thought that would be popular. They thought this would be just, like, an incredibly brilliant thing for them to do. And it turns out, no. Here's a statement written by the parents of Alex Preddy. I want to remind you guys, the Trump administration thought their actions with ICE were going to be popular. They thought this would be popular. Here's the statement. We are heartbroken, but also very angry. Alex was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends, and also the American veterans whom he cared for as an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA hospital. Alex wanted to make a difference in this world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. I do not throw around the hero term lightly. However, his last thought and act was to protect a woman. The sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Alex is clearly not holding a gun when attacked by Trump's murdering and cowardly ICE thugs. He had his phone in his right hand, and his empty left hand is raised above his head while trying to protect the woman ICE just pushed down, all while being pepper sprayed. Please get the truth out about our son. He was a good man. Thank you. Here is Alex Preddy reading the last rites. The final salute of a veteran that he cared for in the ICU.
You guys go ahead and stand right over there. Terrence Lee Randolph, March 30th, 1947, December 10th, 2024. Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even sacrifice for it. May we never forget and always remember our brothers and sisters who have served so that we may enjoy the gift of freedom. So in this moment, we remember and give thanks for their dedication and selfless service to our nation in the cause of our freedom. In this solemn hour, we render them our honor and our gratitude. You guys can follow.
That is the kind of man that ICE took from us. They took from us a goddamn hero. And we have the audacity of one absolute piece of trash in Twitch chat to say any company would love to have the work ethic of an ICE agent, round the clock working for medium pay 7 days a week with overtime. Any warehouse would take them. They would make bank. Nah. Any warehouse where people of self-respect, people of patriotism, people who actually give a damn about their neighbors, no warehouse staffed with people like that would ever take an ICE agent. An ICE agent, someone who would murder without a second thought, while someone claps in the background for him, one of his colleagues. No self-respecting American would ever hire someone like that. If you are on board with what ICE is doing, what ICE represents, you're not a fucking American. You're a traitor. You're a goddamn Confederate. If you're one of those guys who looks at what ICE is doing and you see them like high-fiving each other as they shoot at protesters and saying, oh, it's like just like Call of Duty.
Look how fast they abandon the sacred Second Amendment when they don't agree with the man who was killed.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. You can't hire and work with someone who doesn't even believe in constitutional rights, man. Can't do it. Like, if you can't believe and respect the fundamental humanity of your coworkers, then you don't have any place in a workplace. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you applaud ICE for what they're doing, if you applaud this execution, you're a fucking traitor. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, if you think, by the way, if you think that you're, like, one of the normal ones because you support ICE and, like, oh, man, just the real Americans love ICE. I got news for you. This is where real Americans are right now. This guy represents real fucking Americans.
I want to talk to one person here. Why? Yeah. And you have lived here for some time. Yeah. You know, just up the road for a period of time. How would you describe just the way as a Minneapolis resident that you're feeling right now?
Can I describe it not as a Minneapolis resident, but as an American citizen? Thank you. This started as a pretext about immigration and the fraud, whatever. It's well beyond that now. It's into your Second Amendment. It's into your Fourth Amendment. It's into your Sixth Amendment. This is so far beyond what people at home probably are watching going, oh, it's Minneapolis, it's woke Hoth, it doesn't affect me, whatever. It does. It's you. It's you as well now. Wake up. Please watch what's happening here. I feel like we're performing CPR on what may already be a corpse called the Constitution. And yeah, there's plenty of people online laughing at us and going, haha, tryhards. But I think it's worth it, and I hope you do too.
Well, you were saying to me earlier that you were HOA president for a while.
Yeah, I'm the Square community, man. I like built real estate document search portal sites for Wells Fargo. I am the Square community. Like, yeah.
But you were HOA president, Frank and Nick. So this community to happen here, for this to happen here at this intersection on Nicollet in East Street, how do you begin to explain the significance of it happening here today?
I assume it's Kristi Noem's provocation. She saw how much this city hates her clowns, hates her scarecrows, and said, you know, we'll double down. We'll put the boot a little bit harder on the throat.
How long will you stay out here?
Till my balls get cold. Just till it gets too cold. Probably all day, I think, yeah.
I want to talk to one
president of the Square community out there right now. One of the most normies you could possibly imagine. Fucking president of his homeowner association and guy who designs websites for Wells Fargo to buy a retail is going out there and freezing his balls off in order to protest the awful, un-American pieces of shit that occupy our streets. So don't you tell me, you little goofy goobers on the internet there, that you guys represent normal America as you deep throat ICE. Like, I'm sorry, you don't. Only people who are absolute fucking freaks are out there carrying water for ICE right now. All right? If you're at all a normal person of normal conscience, a normal person who lives in this country and wants this country to do better, I'm sorry. You are not in favor of ICE. My respect for the man fell when he said he's a homeowner association president. The point of that is that even a guy who's a homeowner association president is showing the fuck up. Right? Like, that's the point of this clip. The point of this clip is that he is a normie-ass normie who under normal circumstances wouldn't be out there. He is emblematic of the folks who under normal circumstances, even during like protest scenarios, would not be out on the streets. And he's showing up. Because that's where everyday average Americans are at right now. The normies who typically tune out of politics. And so like it's really a huge deal that folks like this are out there. Okay? And I'm not showing that clip because I think he's the coolest dude ever. I'm showing it because it's where normies are, right? And I just want to say, again, conservatives are the weakest people possibly imaginable. Here's Mike Cernovich. High IQ people don't respond well to shrill noises, from smoke alarms to those hearing loss causing machines that terrorists use against ICE. To be honest, those things should be considered a violent weapon. They damage hearing for life. Dudes, like, we've gotten to the point where like conservatives are trying to say whistles are weapons. We've gotten to the point where they're saying people going where they will on a public roadway is domestic terrorism. We've gotten to the point where people saying filming an ICE officer is equivalent to an attack on their lives. And like, I'm sorry, if you're a conservative and you're still standing for these guys, you are like in favor of the softest motherfuckers possibly imaginable. I just, all true. Conversely, people who need to constantly drown in noise, protest, shrieking, loud talking, music blasting, modified mufflers, etc., are overwhelmingly low IQ, low impulse control, and low consideration for others. That's right, folks. If you listen to loud music, you are low IQ. These soft motherfuckers goddamn baby men. It's genuinely crazy. They look again, but that's the thing. The mind of a fascist cannot comprehend how completely out of step they are with normal people. It's wild. Also, I just encourage you guys to watch this. Luckily, we do have an update that this man is okay, but like, damn.
Get the fuck off me! That's my husband! I have done nothing at all! My name is Matthew James! Overtime Allen!
Oh, bother. This that wake up with no Java. Bring that rain like a Mokada. About to run this whole blue like I'm Go Roger.
Yeah, go check out his music, folks. Nerd Rocks, NURD ROCKS. Excellent musician that they just attacked for genuinely no reason during the protests the other day. Luckily, he is safe with his wife at the moment. But like, yeah, there's a lot going on here. Again, they thought this would be popular. They thought ICE agents beating like innocent musicians was going to be popular. Just today, folks, ICE agents spotted lurking outside of a daycare, the Bilingual Child Care and Education Center in Matamidi, Minnesota. You know, just got to terrorize some people out in Matamidi. You know, gotta terrorize some people outside of a bank in St. Louis Park. Federal agents pulled into the parking lot, saw some running. They left a few minutes later. Unable to tell if someone was detained or what happened, they had their weapons out in the bank parking lot. Yeah, you know, these guys that are just pulling up to random places around your city. Yeah, they make you feel safe when these guys pull up and they take out their long guns. Oh yeah, man. Such a wonderful situation for everyone to be in. Like, God, conservatives are dumb pieces of shit. This is all of Alex Preddy's co-workers, by the way, turning up today to have a moment of silence for him. Just want that image to sink in a little bit. They thought this was going to be popular. They thought people would be thanking them, grading them as saviors. The amount of misery that they have inflicted upon this community is incalculable. And the other day, we talked a little bit about how Governor Walz activated the National Guard and how they were going to be turning out in front of the Whipple building. The National Guard is now stationed outside of the Whipple building. They have replaced ICE agents and local police. And I will say, it seems to have been an upgrade for protesters, as far as I'm aware. National Guard showed up today, and or rather yesterday.
What are you guys giving out?
Hot chocolate.
And you're with the Minnesota National Guard?
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are.
Why was this important for you guys to do today?
It's a demonstration of safety and security. We're here to help.
What are you guys giving out?
So the National Guard showed up on their first day, and they brought hot chocolate and donuts for protesters. They brought Dunkin' too. They brought what America runs on. And you know, like, I just gotta say, not striking me as the kinds of guys who are on ICE's side. You know, I was really worried about how National Guard showing up was going to go, and so far it seems to have gone well. so far. That being said, people are still out there protesting, and here is the moment of silence for Alex Preddy at a local sports event. I think the Timberwolves game? Yeah.
In honoring the life and memory of Alex Preddy with a moment of silence.
I don't know. Look, something tells me there's something very American about that particular moment in a way that conservatives in this country don't fucking understand. Okay? That's where average everyday Americans are. It's a fucking entire stadium full of people showing a moment of silence out of respect and then ending it with a resounding stadium full of fuck ICE. All right? That's where average Americans are at right now. And you know what? People in Minnesota aren't standing there alone. Other demonstrations. Chicago. Many of these demonstrations that occurred around the country were only announced a day prior, and people turned up and turned out. Here's Utah turning out.
All power to the people! All power to the people! Nobody is illegal! Nobody is illegal! All power to the people! All power to the people! Nobody is illegal! Nobody is illegal! All right, let's make some noise, Salt Lake City! My name is Chris. I'm a student organizer.
Hell yeah. Good job, Chris. I mean, like, just everywhere, big and small, people are showing resistance to ICE. Here's LA. Someone put together a massive light display.
Join ICE, boy, ain't it nice? Join ICE, take my advice. If you're lacking control and authority, come with me and hunt down minorities. Join ICE. Well, I failed the academy, the cops weren't having me. Join ICE, boy, ain't it.
Got some Jesse Wells there. On behalf of One-Eyed Atheist, fuck ICE. Indeed, Brutus Magnuson, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, One-Eyed Atheist, for the $5 super chat as well. Such a good song. Yeah. They thought this would be popular, folks. Like, it has gotten to the point where even, like, niche communities are out there condemning ICE's actions.
Love to see Americans doing such an amazing job. Heart suit emoji. Purple
Isn't
heart
it
emoji.
incredible? Isn't it incredible? Stop the stupidity. Thank you for the $10 super chat. But, like, I've seen, like, the American Girl doll community, like, enraged by this. I've seen, like, niche product communities enraged by this. I've seen people you never would have thought in a million years would have been enraged by this. But I think maybe one of the most telling bellwethers we are currently seeing right now is the big dick community. That's right, folks. ICE has lost the big dick community. If you are a fan of ICE, you are now by default in the small dick community. And you know what? I haven't checked, but I think they might be losing the small dick community soon too. The big dick subreddit is posting nonstop about how upset they are about ICE. I can't. This is such an excellent piece.
LOL, join ICE with your two best friends and pull a Stooges act.
Indeed. Indeed. I just, they're posting a lot of big dick jokes at ICE's expense, and honestly, it's pretty great to see. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to be showing any of these links or any of these posts, but they're very good. You mean the boner pill community, like Rogan? No, I mean like the subreddit where everyone talks about big dicks or LARPs about having big dicks and post pictures of big dicks. Yeah, the real big dick energy is saying fuck ICE. It's true. On the opposite end of the well, I was a counterterrorism operator in back in the day, and Minnesotans have like just an insurgent operation going on there with their signal chats and their volunteer work. Here's one guy speaking to Status Quo News.
I'm a witness to what happened, and therefore I made a statement to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Justice must be served. But I want to say that what I saw at around 9 o'clock, I was done. We were about to leave to go back to Marissa's. And when when Customs and Border Patrol showed up, Glendale Donuts kept it locked up. They kept it down. They did a good job. They did a great job. But unfortunately, I did see what happened. And as a United States military veteran, trained, as I said before, in counterinsurgency, trained in detainee operations, I can tell you from my perspective, the man, Alex, was not resisting. What I saw disgusted me. It made me feel sick to my stomach. And last night, before I went to bed, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'm surprised I was able to fall asleep last night. It was terrible, and it felt horrible. But I know the day before, on January 23rd, this city was it was amazing. It was electric. Over 100,000 people in the streets, walking off the job, not going to work, not shopping, not going to school. That is what we need more of. The only way to get ICE out of Minnesota, to get ICE out of Minneapolis, to get ICE out of Whittier, to get ICE out of Nicollet Avenue is to shut it down. 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 And I know many of us are scared. Many of us feel that one day was not enough. And that's true. One day may not be enough. But we're going to have to do it again because we are exercising a muscle, and that muscle is the strike.
He's 100% correct, by the way. He's 100% correct. Like, a one-day strike is not going to fix it, but a one-day strike is exercising organizing muscle. And so, as we look forward to the future, as we look forward to the coming days and weeks and months ahead, where this battle is going to continue. You know, we are 1 year into the Trump administration. We are going to have to continue resisting them, even if ICE pulls completely out of Minnesota, completely out, of the respective places it currently is and tries to shuffle itself around. We are going to need to continue to fight. We're going to need to continue to organize. And we're going to need to continue to push forward, right? And that need is going to exist irrespective of, what happens if Bovino gets removed, if Kristi Noem gets removed. And, I'm just here to tell you guys that need is going to persist. We cannot go back to sleep on this. Now that we have all seen this problem, now that we have all seen this rot, this fascism at the heart of America that is eating us up inside, We are going to have to do more, and we're going to have to continue to get more and more organized. For folks outside of Minnesota, that might mean getting organized for the very first time in your community. So I'm asking you folks to get organized. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA, join a local organizing apparatus of some kind that is actually effective, that is actually going to get people out there helping folks. Because it's going to be really, really important in the days and weeks and months and years ahead. Not just for electoral purposes, not just to fight for the fact that we're going to have elections, but also to fight in the streets, to show up when ICE comes to snatch one of your neighbors, and to put a stop to it. Okay? We won one battle today. We're going to need to win a lot more battles. All right? But I think right now, folks, I can say that we are winning. At least today. You know, like, we got People Magazine over here posting articles like, Mayor asks how many more Americans need to die. Talking about how, you know, federal government's coming in and killing people. You know, that's going to go on every supermarket shelf in the country. You need to do things I can't say here on Twitch? Then don't say them here on Twitch. If you think that more extreme action is needed, go to there. Go find someone more extreme. Like, I'm sorry. If you want me to say now's the time to take up arms, that's not what you're gonna get here. Sorry. I know. Well then, if you know that, then please control yourself. Because, look, what I'm trying to point out here is that we're fucking winning. And like, what is bizarre to me here is the idea that when we're fucking winning, that the idea some people gravitate to is that we need to, like, violently continue, like, we need to violently fight them. Like, that's not at all the case. We're beating them right now. The idea is we need to continue to beat them. That's the entire point. Minnesota has out-organized them, has defeated their ideas, has defeated their attempts to goad us into violence, has defeated their attempt to violently oppress us. And we need to continue to beat them. Okay, but we need to avoid a Nuremberg situation. Yeah, that's why you get more organized. I'm so fucking sick of this, guys. We do this at every stream. We do this every show. If your concern is, well, people might not be held accountable, the entire point of organizing is, in part, to hold them accountable. If your idea is that, like, well, we need to avoid that, yes, of course. Of course we need to avoid only partial accountability. But we do that by organizing. Yes, I know what happened with Nuremberg, cynicism. I understand. Thank you. I understand that Nuremberg was not successful in prosecuting all the Nazis. I understand that. But the entire purpose of organizing harder is so that you can avoid that outcome. God! I support what you're saying. I'm just thinking, as someone outside the USA, what about the concentration camps? Yeah, we need to end the entire institution that is making that possible. Yes. I understand. But do you understand what it would mean to the families, what it would mean to anyone involved in going and attacking one of those concentration camps? Do you have any fucking idea what that would entail to everyone involved in that? Do you have any idea what it would do and empower this administration to do to millions more people? Do you understand the fucking cost of what you are talking about? Because I don't think you do. That's the problem here. Like, the number one thing this administration wants to do, the number one thing fascists are wired to do, is kill people. And if you give them a target that they can even plausibly point the gun at, they are going to mow down hundreds of thousands of people if they have to, or if they feel they have to. So the problem that I'm struggling with here is when folks are like, well, why doesn't America just rise up and violently overthrow them? It's because there's a monopoly of violence by the biggest violence holders on the planet. And you cannot out-violence them. That's the problem. And so, when we talk about resistance and we talk about organizing, the number one thing, and the reason we talk about organizing, is because the number one thing we have that they don't, it's not guns, it's not bombs, it's not tanks, it's not any of that. It is people. It is people. We have more people. And our strength lies in organizing our people. And so, I understand the frustration with that. I understand how it is slow to organize. And I understand that that is deeply frustrating. I thought that the Second Amendment was about overthrowing an authoritarian dictator. It is, but unfortunately, using that argument in a court of law is a non-starter. And also, using that argument to win a PR war is not going to be a starter when it comes to how that affects the forces of the administration. So the issue is, if you are truly interested in overthrowing, the commander-in-chief of, like, the strongest military on the planet, arguably, then you have to out-organize him. He is pathetically weak when it comes to public opinion. He is pathetically weak when it comes to being able to organize actual human beings. We are incredibly strong in both capacities. And so we need to leverage where we are strong in order to bring about change. That's the thing. And so the reason organizing works in general is that it gets public opinion on your side. It's public opinion on your side. As soon as you resort to violent tactics, public opinion tanks on you. Number one. Number two, organizing denies them pretext. It denies them good optics. It denies them a whole host of things that they need to do in order to coerce consent from the people that they govern. That's why it's important to leverage our organizing apparatus. Number one, because organizing us, as you have seen in Minnesota, keeps us safe. It helps protect people that the administration wants to target. And that's really kind of like a priority number one when it comes to, surviving this time. But it also builds up possibilities for electoral moves, obviously. But that's not even it. It also builds up capacity for us to make bigger moves in the future if the administration says, fuck it all, we're pressing the button to try and do civil war. So you organize now to build the framework and groundwork for what you would need should the administration escalate in the future. Because that's also the thing that frustrates me, is that a lot of people act like, or like to posture as if like, well, this is like a video game where you get to respawn. You get to have another crack at it. If you're gonna play to beat a fascist administration, you gotta play to fucking win. And this idea that like, well, maybe you could try to have a drone do something, or maybe if you had a bunch of guys with handguns, like, no, that's all LARPy bullshit. That is LARPy bullshit. Maybe that would work in a different country. Here it's LARPy bullshit. Civil war, get the fuck out of here, man. Look, you have armed federal agents executing people outside your house, and you get back to me, okay, bud? And so the entire situation here that we're trying to talk about is, how do we fight this to win? Like, I again, you're rolling an awful lot of dice when you're talking about violent actions against this particular administration. And frankly, I think the costs to such an action, even if successful, would potentially outweigh any benefits. So, yeah, not a huge fan of violent protest. I apologize. I'm just frustrated because I see the American government threatening to invade and kill my friends. I'm also frustrated by that. Understand that we are on the same team, you and I. But it is not going to make this particular government less prone to violence for people to take up arms against it. It will, in fact, send it into overdrive, because that's the one thing that this administration wants to do more than anything else. Do it peacefully. Do not bring a firearm. Now, we have a Second Amendment right in this country to bring a firearm almost wherever the fuck we want. Having a firearm does not mean you are a violent protester. Shut the fuck up. I don't know. Does a law enforcement officer having a gun mean that they are a violent threat to the community? I don't know. I don't know if we play this game, you get the outcome you want. Oh, I can't give a duck. Okay. Yes. I don't think you guys fucking understand. I gotta say, I love you guys who are outside of America right now. I don't think you guys get the stakes of what's happening here. No, I mean that the police are always violent criminals. Yeah, but you are not understanding my point, I guess. I don't know, guys. I watch a video like this and I think, hey, we're fucking winning. By the way, I've been told by the federal government that this is grounds to just murder whoever's driving the vehicle. You know, I don't think that actually holds up in a court of law, but that's what the federal government's been arguing. Thankfully, no one in this audience is a cowardly baby man who's deliberately trying to murder a civilian. they did bump him, but yeah. They didn't even fucking bump him. Like, I watched the angle on Renee Good's murder so many times. They didn't even fucking bump him. He had his arm out and bumped the... Like, the argument really here is he put his arm out and bumped their car. And was standing outside the range of movement of the car deliberately because he wanted to shoot her in the face. Which he then did. And then shot her multiple times through the open window of the side window because he wanted to murder her. If anything, their argument would be way more applicable here as, like, these people taking up arms against this armored vehicle. But thankfully, we in Minnesota know not to try and murder people. It's pretty cool here, actually. Feds haven't gotten that message, though. Like, I'm sorry. The courage and spirit of ordinary working Americans is going to trump these people. And all we got to do is show up. All we got to do is show up and organize. That's what we got to do. So get to work, folks. Get organized. Get organized. Join your local DSA. Join your local Dems. We got people in this community who can help you do that. Get in our Discord. Reach out to Gamergy for help joining your local DSA. Reach out to Dragonfly for help joining your local Dems. Get on it, folks. It is very important that you guys get organized because this isn't going to be limited to Minneapolis. It is going to be everywhere. Okay? Who are the Lime Jacket people? I think they might be fire department. I'm not sure. National Guard? I don't think they're National Guard either. As a Canadian, I'm looking into the factory here in Ontario that's manufacturing weapon vehicles for ICE. Interesting. Let us know what you find. Also, update here on this particular protest video.
No! Fuck you! Stop! Look out! Damn! Just chill. Okay. I'm fine. I don't even breathe anything. I'm just angry. I'm 7 years old. Fucking angry. Oh, fuck off. I don't think I'll need it, but we'll try it.
Wow. What a scene in an American city in 2026.
So it turns out that that man is actually, and thank you to Robin Boogie over on Blue Sky for identifying this man. This man is Greg Ketter. Here he is coming out of the tear gas on the other side, I guess. This man actually runs a bookshop, Dreamhaven Books and Comics. And it's basically just a cool ass like comic book shop here in Minneapolis. Y'all should check it out. It's cool as hell. They have all kinds of great and rare comics. There it's cool stuff. He also put out a comment that I'll read out. Wow, so much to address. First things first, fuck ICE. They murdered Alex Preddy on Saturday in cold blood. I won't accept any other explanation. The young man is dead because of Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, and the rest of that ghoulish group. Because of this, I was angry enough to go to the site of Alex's murder to pay respects and witness for myself the ICE thugs who support these actions. I got there about an hour after the murder and went right up to the intersection that ICE had taped off and stood guard. There were perhaps 50 to 100 of them and several hundred observers/protesters milling around. Some were right up front, yelling and swearing. I became one of them. No one made a move towards the agents, but suddenly several canisters of tear gas were thrown into the crowd. A number of agents broke the tape and ran after people along the side street to my left for no reason I could see. I stood where I was as more tear gas and flash bombs, they were loud, were thrown at us. There was shouting, probably pepper balls. Shooting, probably pepper balls. Most people had backed off, but a few had gas masks and stayed near the line. I had no gas mask and don't know what made me stay, but I did. And I was screaming even louder. I was screaming and sobbing not from gas, but from fury and sadness. I don't think the gas had affected me at this point. A gas-masked cameraman had been circling around near me, asked if I was okay. I was physically fine, but I had snapped. I was so angry that people hired by our government could do this to innocent people. Hence the rant, which seems to have gone viral. People have been so kind, from the concerned people there at the scene offering me help to the many, many thousands who have watched the video and offered their support. Those who ordered books from us, it will take a bit to get things sorted out, and eventually crashed our website. Working on that too, I thank you. It's still crashed, by the way. People discovered the old GoFundMe we had after the riots, after George Floyd was murdered, and our store was heavily damaged, and have been making donations there. I'm greatly touched by that, but I would like to offer that money to our local food shelves if donors wouldn't mind. The store is intact and doing well with the money, and the money should go to a greater cause. I'll have more for you later today and in upcoming days. Thank you all for and stay strong. I'm still fucking angry. Greg. Greg's a great dude. Dreamhaven Books, by the way, has been there for decades. Like it's an institution. Absolute legend. It also they also have a publishing arm. So, just a interesting little fact for y'all. Have you been there? I haven't been there, but I know a lot of people who have been there. It's like a well-known institution. And frankly, I'll be going to check it out after this madness comes to an end. And we are winning in a lot of different venues, a lot of different avenues. We are winning. And I think people have yet to really reckon with the scale of our winning. Here is Cardinal Joseph Tobin, the #1 guy that the Pope has in the United States.
How will you say no? How will you say no to violence? Because as the great teacher Martin Luther King said, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. How will you say no? In this week when an appropriations bill is going to be considered in Congress, will you contact your your congressional representatives, the senators and representative from your district? We ask them for the love of God and the love of human beings, which can't be separated. Vote against renewing funding for such a lawless organization? How will you scrawl your answer on the wall? How will you help restore a culture of life in the midst of death? Thank you. God bless you.
Just, the Pope's right-hand man calling on Congress to stop funding ICE. Just as an FYI. And y'all should be calling your reps too. Leave them messages. If their inbox is full, if their voicemail is full, leave them an email. If you want to do a little bit more, consider faxing them for free. You can use, of course, faxzero.com to fax your representatives and your senators. The bill right now being considered is in front of the Senate, so that's where we're going to have to put our pressure on as things continue to escalate. But folks, I want to point you all to this interview, which was literally done earlier today on CNN.
Is the agent or agents, is it your understanding that more than one agent fired a weapon at Alex Preddy?
Again, that's going to be part of the investigation. I'm not going to speculate on how many shots or who shot or that type of thing because I don't know.
Are the agents who were involved still on the job?
Yes, they're these Border Patrol agents are going to more than likely be on administrative duty, but they will remain Border Patrol agents. Yes.
What does that mean? So they'll be off the streets for a bit?
Not in Minneapolis, they will, but only in Minneapolis. Here, they'll be at a different location.
Okay. And before I let you go, I just want to button up one point that you were.
So this man has been doing a series of disastrous press conferences and interviews, and basically in all of them, he is looking like a goddamn chump. And it turns out that our president, for as soup-brained as he is, still cares about one thing. And that is how one of his ghouls looks on television. And it turns out that Greg Bovino has not been making a great impression. And the president is not too happy with him anymore. Which, well, The Atlantic reported on this earlier today. Greg Bovino loses his job. The Border Patrol chief has been ousted from his role as commander-at-large. This man is, no longer the commander-at-large of ICE. So, just so you know, that doesn't happen without some extreme displeasure. Wait, that's good news. I know! It's very good news. Okay? It is not, in fact, bad news. It is good news. But also, it's not nearly sufficient. Yeah, he's become commander at small, indeed. God. So, he's going to be sent back to El Centro, California. And he will be, he's expected to retire soon, which to me heavily indicates that he is going to be pressured into retiring sooner rather than later. So that's interesting, to say the least. According to The Atlantic, the behind-the-scenes scuttlebutt is that this man is effectively getting a demotion. Trump officials kind of spun the whole commander-at-large title out of nowhere and gave it to him, and he's been, like, puffing out his chest and doing his best Nazi cosplays as a result. But, the scuttlebutt is that Kristi Noem and her boyfriend, Corey Lewandowski, are also on the chopping block at the moment. So the entire point here is for us to get as many wins as we can. And right now, the administration is particularly weak. What we need to be doing, and what I want all of you to do, is to call your elected representatives, call your elected senators, fax them, email them, and encourage them to impeach and remove Kristi Noem. Because, again, according to this Atlantic piece, a lot of conservatives in the Trump administration have their knives out for Kristi Noem right now. And it would be extremely good for us to get them out. Okay? The public pressure is there. The ability for us to pressure is there. We just need to use it. Folks, go use it. Here's Ruben Gallego.
What about impeaching Kristi Noem?
Well, I mean, that's a House decision. If that comes to us in the Senate, I'll gladly be able to try it. I think it's ridiculous that someone like Kristi Noem just went out right away and basically called, this poor, victim a terrorist, a violent terrorist. That right there is impeachable. The fact that she didn't wait to see what the video that was coming out automatically said that this man was brandishing a weapon, which we now know is not true. She lied about a citizen to justify his murder, and that is not leadership. The president should ask for her resignation, but if not, I do think the House should impeach.
We've seen a lot.
He's right. I don't like Ruben Gallego, but he's right. Okay? Like, what we need to do right now is not take a break. It's not, lollygag. It's not, take our time. What we need right now is a full-on blitz. We need just an all-out blitz on the Trump administration in order to try and curtail their worst abuses. We won a battle today. We need to keep winning those battles. All right? So, folks, I'm encouraging you, call your elected representatives to get them to impeach Kristi Noem. Okay? Get out there and get to work, folks. Do your calls. You can use 5calls.org. All right? Like, I cannot stress enough. We got him on the ropes. We got him on the ropes, and, this was funny. I saw this today. CNN reports multiple DHS officials are furious over how Kristi Noem handled the Alex Preddy shooting. After watching the video, officials say her public claims don't match what Americans can see with their own eyes. One DHS official to CNN, the department needs a law enforcement leader, not a sicko fan. The cracks are forming from inside the machine. I do want to say it is very funny that they did not know the word sycophant. But, that's fine. That's fine. But we have a unique opportunity here. And folks, people are still turning up. There have been noise protests outside of several hotels and motels that are hiding ICE agents, that are, housing ICE agents, rather. Bye, bitch! Get the fuck out of here. And, I want you all to know that Donald Trump has effectively capitulated on Minnesota, or at least is signaling that he wants to. Here he is on Truth Social. Governor Tim Walz called me with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, and that what we are looking for are any and all criminals they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood that I will be speaking with him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We have so much tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, virtually every other place we have touched. Why is the touched in quotes? It makes it so much grosser coming from this man. And even in Minnesota, crime is way down, but both Governor Walz and I want to make it better. President Donald J. Trump. Okay? Yes, Tom Homan is going to be here, but I do have to say, folks, that's better. You understand how that's better, right? Tom Homan... okay, also, if any of you are in Minnesota and you would like to do a really big solid, okay, if you know how to play the tuba and you can do us a real big solid, follow Tom Homan around with the tuba and just go bum 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 bum. Like just do that. I guarantee you, it will do so much to discredit this administration. All right, just I cannot. Their entire thing is trying to project force and project power. All right. Make it very apparent that this man is a bumbling buffoon. Okay? Yeah, where my resistant hobo players at? God. But it is also noteworthy here that Donald Trump also called Mayor Fry. I spoke with President Trump this afternoon, appreciated the conversation. I expressed how much Minneapolis has benefited from our immigrant communities and was clear that my main ask is that Operation Metro Surge needs to end. The president agreed that the present situation cannot continue. Some federal agents will begin leaving the area tomorrow, and I will continue pushing for the rest involved in this operation to go. Minneapolis will continue to cooperate with state and federal law enforcement on real criminal investigations, but we will not participate in unconstitutional arrests of our neighbors or enforce federal immigration law. Violent criminals should be held accountable based on the crimes they commit, not based on where they're from. I will continue working with all levels of government to keep our communities safe, keep crime down, and put Minneapolis residents first. Plan to meet with Border Czar Tom Homan tomorrow to further discuss next steps. So, look, they aren't all gone yet. And folks in Minnesota still need to keep turning out and turning up. But we are winning. And we need to continue to bring this energy to bear even after they leave. Even if every single ICE agent leaves Minnesota, we need to stay mobilized and stay strong and stay active in our community so that we can be ready if they come back and so that we can be ready come the midterms. They have activated the American working people, and we need to stay awake in order to fight them. That is the number one thing I ask of all of you, is that do not treat ICE like a passing weather storm. Do not treat them like your local snowstorm. Treat them as a continued existential threat to everything we hold dear. All right? It is deeply important that we continue to fight, not just for our neighbors in our immediate vicinity, but for our neighbors nationally. For our neighbors in other states, for our immigrant neighbors, documented and undocumented, we need to keep up this fight. And we will continue fighting, we will continue marching, we will continue organizing until we have overthrown and abolished ICE. We have to do that. Your faith and optimism is more impressive than mine. I just watched a crowd of people stand in front of a vehicle that is larger than all of them put together, and they stood in front of it. Like, I'm sorry. If you are not emboldened by their bravery, if you are not emboldened by the fact that 100,000 people marched here just a couple days ago, if you are not emboldened by the fact that we are actively engaged in one of the largest awakenings of working class solidarity in this country's history, at least in modern history, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. When we see like average Joes who are like, yeah, usually I'd build websites for Wells Fargo and, attend to my homeowner association that I'm the president of. When you see those types of people hitting the streets in solidarity, we are not losing, friends. We are winning. When the wine moms are rising up with rhetoric, equal to that of the Jacobins, like I don't know what to tell you guys. We're winning. And those people aren't just turning up with words and posting online. They're showing up in our communities. They're showing up to deliver food. They're showing up to stand in front of goddamn tanks. That's winning. If you believe that we are not, I encourage you to get out there and start working to organize in your community, because you will see people doing bravery you could not have comprehended people in your neighborhood doing. You will see people turning up and turning out in ways you could never have imagined. If you are dooming, I encourage you to go out into the world and see what other people are doing to show up for one another. Like, I don't know, man. Like, there are entire communities getting out there to show up and make sure, like, a 12-year-old immigrant child who's afraid and cannot go to the supermarket safely, there's an entire community showing up to make sure she gets menstrual pads. All right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. And if the main takeaway from everything I just said is that I use the word man colloquially, then I don't think you're actually listening to anything I have to say. And I think you are here dedicated to inaction and doom. And I just don't have time for that here. Also worth noting here that the backlash against Republicans in Minnesota has been so strong that one of the GOP candidates for governor has dropped out of the race and has joined the anti-ICE protests. Just as an FYI. Attorney Chris Maddle released a blistering statement Monday about the federal government's current surge of immigration officers as he announced he is dropping out of the race for the Republican nomination for Minnesota governor. And let's just take a look at that real quick.
I love Minnesota.
This is 10 minutes long. I don't think we're going to watch the entire thing. We'll watch half. We'll watch half.
Born and raised here. My immediate family lives here. My extended family lives here. It's my home. I decided to run for governor because I firmly believe that Minnesota needs serious and systemic change. Fraud is rampant. Our streets are unsafe. We need to honor and respect law enforcement much more. Our education results lag behind Mississippi. Our taxes are
That's not true, by the way, but go on.
Absurdly high, and we're losing great businesses and people because of those taxes and ever-increasing regulations.
Like, I gotta say, this guy lives in a completely different reality, because, like, nothing he's saying there is true at all.
I believe Minnesota has seriously lost its way. Since I announced my candidacy on December 1, I am extremely proud of what we've accomplished.
December 1? Okay. Look, the point being here, this guy lives in a completely different reality, but even he is sickened by ICE.
Accomplished. I started as a relative unknown candidate and emerged as a leading Republican contender in less than 2 months. Honestly, we've accomplished more in less than 2 months than I ever dreamed possible, and I cannot thank my friends and supporters enough for getting me here. You've been there for me, and I will forever be grateful. But today, I announced the end of my campaign. I have two primary reasons for this decision. Number one, I cannot support the National Republican's stated retribution on the citizens of our state, nor can I count myself a member of a party that would do so.
Some of this news is very heartening even with all the garbage happening. It's like being in a movie. It's so weird.
Superjet guy, I don't think that this guy is representing Jonathan Ross. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the case. The fact that this man is literally saying, I can't even be part of the Republican Party right now while still existing in that alternate reality on so many of these other issues is really telling of where your average conservative is these days. You know, if they aren't fully, if they're not fully part of the MAGA cult. It's not this guy. Thank you, Vile.
I support the originally stated goals of Immigrations and Customs Enforcement's Operation Metro Surge in locating and deporting the worst of the worst from our state. And I've seen many examples of ICE arresting non-U.S. citizens in Minnesota convicted of serious crimes, including murder, rape, and child sexual assault. No reasonable person should want these people here, and I am glad that they are gone. But Operation Metro Surge has expanded far beyond its stated focus on true public safety threats. United States citizens...
Wait, it is this guy? This guy is representing Jonathan Ross? Oh, shit.
Citizens, particularly those of color, live in fear. United States citizens are carrying papers to prove their citizenship. That's wrong. ICE has authorized its agents to raid homes using a civil warrant that need only be signed by a Border Patrol agent. That's unconstitutional and it's wrong. Weaponizing criminal investigation.
Oh shit, this guy is like, oh my god, how are you representing an ICE agent who murdered a woman and you are also dropping out of the governor race because you cannot even abide being called a Republican in this administration? This is genuinely insane. Holy shit.
Against political opponents is unconstitutional, regardless of who is in power. Republicans and Democrats alike have engaged in this misconduct, and both must be held to the same standard. They need to do better. And I have read about and I have spoken to countless United States citizens who have been detained in Minnesota due to the color of their skin. I personally have spoken to several law enforcement officers, some Hispanic.
This is pure oily sleaze. I mean, it is, but it's also very good that he's dropping out of the race. You know, I think we've seen enough. But it is an incredibly weird time. I got nothing. I got nothing here. I mean, there's a good chance that this guy is going to be trying to do like some kind of, you know, comeback politically in a few years, but he probably realized now is not the time, especially if he's taking Jonathan Ross as a client. Also, worth pointing out that ICE has tried too little, too late to try and put out some positive PR. And they're trying to say, oh, look, guys, we helped the guy jumpstart his car. And I gotta say, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you helped the guy jumpstart his car. I think you staged that. I think you staged that, and I do not believe you. No way that wasn't staged. Like, someone mentioned Andrew Cuomo. Didn't Andrew Cuomo literally do this? Yeah, like, chances are it was just another ICE agent. But the number one thing that makes me think right now that the Trump administration is cooked and they're going to try and sacrifice Kristi Noem to appease folks, the number one thing that is on my mind right now is that the National Review wrote this. Now, I don't know how many of you guys know National Review, But it's basically the most one of the most conservative, mainstream conservative outlets out there. It's like the intellectual backbone of the conservative media ecosystem. And I gotta tell you guys, and that's me giving it a lot of credit, right? I don't think Kristi Noem's gonna be around for too much longer, guys. I don't think she's gonna be around for too much longer. At a minimum, the DHS secretary should immediately become the least visible member of the
Cuomo
administration.
helped someone get his car unstuck, but it turned out to be a 1993 white Ford Bronco.
Okay, Sake. That was really fucking good. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. God, that was a good one. Just while questions remain unanswered, the videos create a more serious optics problem for the feds. As near as I can tell, the best possible narrative available is that this was the result of a tragic miscommunication among ICE/CBP officers. One of them shot a gun as he confiscated Preddy's weapon, possibly fueled by an accidental discharge of the weapon. I also think that anyone who walks into a situation as explosive as this should have the sense to follow Johnny Cash's sage advice, don't take your guns to town. That, however, can be of little consolation to a dead man or his family and friends. My constant counsel to the Trump administration is to know where to pick their battles, and President Trump, or whoever is really calling his domestic shots, perhaps Stephen Miller, has been supremely easy to manipulate into self-defeating conflicts. He chases PR heat rather than policy light, hence his focus on top-directed action in high-conflict blue cities like Chicago, and now, with the shiny object of Somalian fraud beckoning him into the trap, Minneapolis. And that's why ICE and CBP have always been walking the thinnest of lines there. The goal for both sides is splashy capital C confrontation. The only way Trump knows how to think of the world is via headlines. Trump will lose that game, even though he believes himself, with some reason, to be master of it. So no, I'm not going to offer any thoughts as to whether or not I believe the progressive activist left has successfully checkmated a blundering Trump. Watch this space for more tomorrow. But I will say this. Any hope of Trump's presidency clawing its way out of the hole it has dug for itself begins with firing Kristi Noem, current Secretary of Homeland Security and the administration's most prominent ride-along disaster during its first year. Preferably out of a rocket and into the sun. Damage control is needed, and she is the most visible avatar of damage. Honestly, I'd advise Trump to can nearly everybody within the remote orbit of DHS leadership, except for Tom Homan. That is, if I thought he was reading me. But I will settle instead for the hope that this one message will break through. Staunch the bleeding by canning your most incompetent lieutenant. Like, damn. Damn. Now, this is the thing, folks. We should get Greg. We've got Greg Bavino. We need to get Kristi Noem out. But we should also take the opportunity to try and take out Stephen Miller along with Kristi Noem. All right? Largely because Miller can be tied to what Kristi Noem has been saying. Because Miller repeated the lie that Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist. Miller was lockstep with Kristi Noem on messaging around this. It is likely that the messaging that Kristi Noem said first came from Stephen Miller. And the thing that we need to see and we need to push for when we call our representatives, in the House, which you should all be doing, commit to doing it every day, folks. Call every day and mention you want Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller gone. Call every day. It's very important. Call, email, fax. Because right now they are uniquely weak. That window will not last forever. If you think you won't remember, do it right now. Call right now. You can use 5calls.org to call your representatives. If their inboxes in DC are full, call their local offices and leave them a message, okay? Put as much pressure to remove Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller as possible. They are uniquely weak. That window is not going to remain open forever. But right now, they are weak. I mean, guys, this is how weak they are. This is how weak they are. Okay? There was a headline in the Houston Chronicle that reads, Greg Abbott says ICE needs to recalibrate mission after deadly Minnesota shooting. Even Greg Abbott knows that this is poison for them. Okay? This is poison for them. And folks, it's not going to go away. That's kind of the thing that is left unsaid here. The damage has already been done, and more damage is coming. Woman shot by Border Patrol in Chicago asks judge to let her release evidence. And this woman, who was shot several times by ICE, and then they lied about it and tried to cover it up, she won in court. Okay? She won in court. And now she is asking the judge to let her release evidence of what happened to her. And when that video comes out, let me tell you, we have not seen how angry people are going to be. This problem is not going to go away for them, but we need to take advantage of every second they do not have a command of the narrative. And we have some of the demands, because as we've gone forward here, there is a package of bills going through the Senate this week. And if by the end of this week they have not put those bills through, the government risks going into shutdown. One of those bill packages is related to funding for DHS. And it seems that over the past couple days, enough Senate Democrats have turned against ICE that they are now going to block that package. Okay? That package is not going to stop, like, even if it gets suspended, it's not going to stop ICE from operating, because they've been given $100 billion slush fund with which they can dip into to pay people. So that's not going to stop people. But what it is going to do is provide an opportunity for Democrats to add, guardrails to ICE in the immediate sense. We now, thanks to the American Prospect, have a list of what is available here. I'm going to link this article here. I recommend you all give it a read just to be up to date on the current situation. I'll link it in chat here. But one of the most helpful portions of this article is specifically this. This is what the Senate Democratic Caucus is going to be asking for. An independent federal state investigation which includes Minnesota officials of ICE murders and tactics. A ban on ICE use of force masks. A ban on ICE use of face masks. A requirement of body cameras. There was $20 million in funding for body cameras in the current appropriations bill, but they are not mandatory currently. A ban on roving ICE patrols. A ban on the invented category of administrative warrants that bypass judges in violation of the Fourth Amendment, and an end of arrest quotas. Understand that this is not going to be the vote where they're going to be able to abolish ICE, but this is going to be the vote that allows us to limp through in order to get to a point where Congress could abolish ICE. So that being said, this is a decent place to start. I really wish, the one thing I would add, if I could add one thing, would be to put limitations on ICE in order to make sure that they can no longer do Kavanaugh stops. I think that that would be really necessary. I think they should have the same level of, you know, uh, reasonable cause that cops have to use, compared to, like, what is the phrase? It's like cops have like reasonable cause, whereas ICE only needs reasonable suspicion. And that distinction is what Brett Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court said was totally fine for an immigration officer to have, which is basically their reasonable suspicion is just if you're black and look like you don't belong, they can stop you, which is stupid as fuck. So, probable cause. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. my mind's a little bit frazzled. It's the frazzling day. Yes. We need to probably I would say we need to take what ICE does from reasonable suspicion to probable cause. Largely because I believe probable cause cannot be reliant on just, oh, you know, you look like you're not from around here based on your skin color or your accent, so we can stop you. That's not actually reasonable. That's not actually probable cause. Yeah. Or you look gay. Yeah, exactly. But as it is, the current list of things seems relatively good. I'm not terribly upset by that. It would be objectively a good thing if Congress was able to get these things passed into law. So that's where we're at right now. So, folks, I'm once again asking you guys, make your calls to your representatives, make your calls to your senators. Call if their voicemail is full in DC, call their regional office. Send them a fax, send them an email. Make sure you list that you want Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller gone for their actions regarding ICE and regarding Alex Preddy. All right? Even if they're a Republican, and honestly, especially if they're a Republican. Because right now, the Democrats in Congress are largely aligned on this. Republicans, however, behind the scenes, they're in shambles. They don't know what to do. They're scared. So make a show of leverage and call them, fax them, email them. Let them know that they have constituents who give a damn about this, because right now a lot of them are trying to figure out how to calibrate their messaging and they don't have any idea what to do. So, folks, also get organized on a local level. Get organized in your local Dems, get organized in your local DSA. It's going to be really important because ICE might be coming to you soon. Join our Discord, reach out to Gamergy for help with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And folks, get ready. Get organized. We keep us safe. With all that being said, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Tested on cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It's non-tucking lingerie. It's very good, high quality, and comfortable. Check it out. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going. Oof. How would you come down from this? Jaguar, I'm not sure what you mean. Folks, if you've been enjoying the show, hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. do the things that help the show grow, consider supporting the stream. Sake Tanuki, thank you so much. The 5 tier 1 subs. What is this? Hey, you remembered to remind me. Thank you so much. And also, second. Yes. This does look cool as shit.
Go on up, yo, go on up, go on. And go up, go yo, and go up, yo. Come up, go and go yo, and go up and yo. Come on, yo, yo, go, come.
No, this is Banjo Kazooie. Oh, it looks so smooth. It looks so good. What? This is so great. One of my favorite bits about all of this is that if none of you have the schema to understand what the hell is going on, it's Banjo-Kazooie. They recompiled Banjo-Kazooie for PC play somehow. That's so cool. That's so cool. Also, can I just say, shout out to Linux. Shout out to Linux for just You know, like Windows has like the little windows, you know, 4 squares. Apple has an apple, and Linux just has this happy ass little penguin, and I love him. I love the Linux. I love the Linux penguin. I think he's adorable. Always have. Keeping Club Penguin alive. Anyway, here is a link to the that trailer. Has some interesting links in the description. Check them out if you'd like to. Yeah, why not have a cute mascot? Exactly. Still haven't gotten to switching over to Linux. It's okay. It's okay. I haven't gotten to switching over to Linux either. How we all doing, folks? That's Tux the penguin? Is it technically not a penguin? Is it like a Linux creature? Like a penguin? Or is it something else? Do you like downfall parodies? I've been known to dabble. I've seen your comment about Greg Bovino in a downfall parody. That'd be fun. I'll seek it out. Rip electricity. We all ran our ACs so much we killed the power. No! Stay cool, Samantha. Speaking of Tux, if any of you have a Linux machine, install Extreme Tux Racer. It's a fun little game where you are Tux sliding around on his belly on racetracks of snow and ice. That does sound really delightful. Well, folks, I'm going to be done for the night because I am exhausted, and also doing this tonight was tiring. That was a lot. That was a lot of content, and honestly, I didn't even get through all of it. I didn't even get through all of the Minnesota ice stuff, but you know what? That's where we're going to be done for the night, I think. Whew. So, folks, if you enjoyed the show, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also check out the Banjo-Kazooie, the Banjo Recompiled trailer. Maybe we'll play that on stream tomorrow because I really like Banjo-Kazooie. And all of that said, go have a good night. Get good rest. Do the things. I don't know. And consider supporting the show if you can. Good night, folks. Sleep well. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Just another day for the Hell Brigade, another party for the Reaper. They say deny your eyes, well it's comply or die. All hail the glorious leader. The Banshee's cry was heard through the night for another precious martyr. How many need time for the changing tides to bring the ladies a mighty hammer? Fascist armed invaders. It's not a means to end, it's just the evil intent of malignant white crusaders. But the rebellious sparks that spring from love-filled hearts won't be coerced into submission. With every passing day, oh, they set the stage for the coming revolution. Oh, the battle's just begun. Oh, there's freedom to be won. And in the shadow of a would-be king, oh, resistance bells shall ring. Oh, the battle's just begun. Oh, there's freedom to be won. And in the shadow of a would-be king, oh, resistance bells shall ring. Through the dark and stormy day,